Hello, welcome to the videos for the last test of the semester over chapter 6, 7, and 9. Again, I just want to encourage you to attempt the problems and finish them as best you can, and then grade them with the answer key before watching the videos and checking your answers. Because then when you do go through the video, you'll be able to see at what point you are making a mistake. If you just watch the video and follow along, your mind is going to trick you into thinking that you understand how to complete the problem. So I really encourage you to take the extra time to just try the problems on your own and then watch the videos and check your answers with the answer key. So here we go. First question on the review says, given the angles C and B and side C, use the law of sines to solve the triangle for a value of A. So we are going to be using the law of sines. And sometimes it's more efficient to write them in one way or the other with the ratios. Because we are looking to solve for side A, I'm going to use this way. So I'm going to write A is to sine of A as B is to sine of 39 as 15 is to sine of 130. And I need to know angle A. I can know that by taking 100. Angle A is equal to 180, subtracting 39, subtracting 130. So angle A is 11. So I can make that 11. So that means I can use this ratio and this ratio to help me find angle A or side A. So A is equal to the sine of 11. A over the sine of 11 is equal to 15 over the sine of 130. And so I'm going to multiply both sides by the sine of 11. So side A will be equal to 15 over sine of 130 times the sine of 11. And then I'm going to go to my scientific calculator and type that in. And we get the length of 3.74 when it's rounded. Okay, question 2 says solve the triangle if it exists. Round answers to the nearest whole number. We've got angle of 41 degrees, side of 34, and side of 49. So I know that the 49 over the sine of 41 is equal to 34 over the sine of C is equal to B over the sine of B. So I can only find one angle if I know two, and I don't know two angles. So my first strategy is going to be to find angle C, and then that will lead me to the other two pieces. So I am going to multiply both sides by the sine of C. So I have sine of C equals, and then sine of C times 49 over the sine of 41 equals 34. Then I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal to get sine of C alone. And I'm going to take the arc cosine of that. to find this angle. So angle C is going to be equal to the arc cosine of this calculation. 34 times sine of 41 over 49. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that in the scientific calculator so you can see. So I'm taking, I'm going to the function here and I'm clicking on arc cosine of 34 times, and then I'm going back to the main and typing sine of 41 divided by, and then 49. And it shows me that my angle C is rounded just to 27 degrees. Then I can take 180 and subtract the 41 for angle A and subtract the 27 for angle C, and I find out that angle B is equal to 112. So I now know angle B over here and angle C, and I already knew angle A. So to find side B is the last thing I need to do. So I can use 49 over sine of 41 degrees is equal to side B over the sine of 112 degrees. I'm going to multiply both sides by the sine of 112. So the sine of 112 times 49 over the sine of 41 is going to equal my side B. And I'm going to go ahead and do that in and I get my side B is equal to 69. Excellent. Okay. Question number 3. Given the three sides, A, B, and C, use the law of cosines to solve the triangle for the value of A. So I'm going to lesson 7.2, and my law of cosines is right here, and I know all three sides. And I just want to find for the angle A. Okay. So I'm finding angle A. So I have to go, they're all the same. It's just using the proper letters. So I'm using this top one here because I want to know angle A. So I know A, so it's going to be 10 squared is equal to 8 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 8 times 13, these two values, times the cosine of A, which is what we're trying to solve for. So this is 100, this is 64 plus, I better double check my answers here. Yeah, 169 minus 2 times 8 times 13. So this right here is 208 cosine of A. So I'm going to subtract 64 and 169 from over here. So it's going to be 100 minus 64 minus 169 equals a negative 208 cosine of A. 100 minus 64 minus 169 is a negative 133. I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 208. And so I'm taking the inverse cosine of this ratio here to get my angle A. So I'm going to show you that in my scientific calculator. So I'm taking the inverse cosine. I found that over here in this function right here. And I'm going to put a negative 133 divided by negative 208. And doesn't matter where my negative goes. And then it shows me that my angle A is 50.25 degrees. So there's my angle A, 50.25. Okay. Let's look at question 4. It said, given A is equal to 11, B is 12, and C is 7, use Heron's area formula to find the area of angle A, B, and C. So I'm still in 7.2. And here I am. I'm using this formula here. And so my area is equal to the square root of S times S minus 11 times S minus B times S minus C. And I need to know what S is. S is equal to 1/2 of A plus B plus C is 1/2 of 30, which is 15. Okay, so this is equal to the square root of 15 times 15 minus 11 times 15 minus 12 times 15 minus 7. Now I recommend you're showing me all the work on your paper when you submit this on the actual test. So that will be 15. And you could type just this right in to Desmos. I'm just going to do what I can by hand. So 15 times 12 times 8. And I'm just going to go over here to the square root of 15 times 12 times 8. And I get 37.95 is my answer. And whatever my units are, they would be square units. So let's look at example 5. Example 5 says use the law of cosines again to find the length of side C if we know the side A, side B, and angle C. Okay, so I'll go back to our law of cosines formula, and I'm using this bottom one here. So I'm using C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of C. And so if I know C squared equals this, I really know that I can take the square root of all of that to find C, which is what I want to do. So I'm going to put in 25 squared plus 32 squared minus 2 times 25 times 32 times the cosine of 98. And since I know all the values on the inside, I can do this in one big calculation in my scientific Desmos. Make sure it's all underneath the radical. I'm going to show you that here. So I'm over here, I'm clicking on the square root, and I've got 25, and I'm going to go back to my main and hit squared, plus 32 squared minus 2 times 25. And then I don't know that you have to put it in parentheses, just make sure you're putting a multiply in between each of them, and then cosine of 98. And it looks like my answer is C is 43.3 if you round to 1 decimal, or 43.26 if you round to 2 decimals, and that's inches in this case. So catch me back for another video to finish up this review.